I've always sworn there's nothing better than the first sip of coffee on my ranch at sunrise. The quiet, the cool air, the way the steam curls up from my mug. It's damn near perfect. That mug, by the way, says World's Dintiest Rancher, a gag gift from my niece Leia after I fix her bike with a hammer and some duct tape. It's chipped now, but it's mine. That morning, though, the peace didn't last. A shrill yell tore through the stillness, loud enough to make me nearly slosh that sacred brew all over my worn jeans. I bolted out of my chair, bleary-eyed, clutching the mug like a lifeline, and scanned my land for the source. There she was, Mara Vance, my next-door drama magnet, standing at my gate in zebra-striped pajamas, hollering into her phone like she was auditioning for a reality show. Mara's the self-crowned queen of the Crestwood Acres HOA, a suburban enclave that somehow ended up next to my little slice of rural heaven. She's been a thorn in my side since I moved here, always griping about something. My truck's too loud, my grass is too long, my existence is too ranchy. But that morning, she was in rare form, eyes blazing, hair a mess, railing about livestock anarchy and rural mayhem. I squinted at her, then at my herd, 10 drowsy cows and 3 lazy goats munching grass like they didn't have a care in the world. 50,000 animals, she said. Hell, I'd be impressed if I could fit that many in my coffee mug. Trust me, she bellowed into the phone, ignoring me completely. He's got 50,000 cows, sheep, hogs, Lord knows what, trampling everything. It's vile. Get here now. I took a sip, trying not to laugh. A county fair's worth of chaos? On my 10 acres? Mara spun around, spotted me, and jabbed a finger my way. There he is, the kingpin of this beastly plague, she shrieked. I waved, aiming for a light tone. Ma'am, isn't that a stretch? She didn't bite. Hurry, she yelled into the phone. He might unleash more any second. Unleash more? What was I, a cowboy Dr. Doolittle? I swallowed a chuckle and waited to see what circus she'd summon next. Minutes later, 2 sheriff's cruisers roared up, sirens blaring, lights flashing like it was a bust on some cattle cartel. Deputies piled out, looking more confused than alarmed as they approached the gate where Mara stood, arms crossed, fuming like a tea kettle about to blow. Sheriff Dan Carter, a guy I've known since he pulled me over for a busted taillight 10 years back, stepped up and eyed the scene. All right, Mara, what's this crisis? He asked, voice steady but with a hint of here we go again. Mara thrust a finger at me, her voice quaking with fury. Sheriff, arrest him now. He's got an illegal zoo here. HOA rules cap it at 5 animals, and he's got thousands. Dan glanced at my herd, those 10 cows and 3 goats, still chewing away, oblivious, then back at Mara's wild stare. Thousands, he drawled, brow lifting. You sure? Positive, she snapped, arms tightening. They're everywhere. The deputies traded smirks, and I ambled forward, mug still steaming, nodding to Dan. Morning, Dan. He grinned, fighting amusement. Mara thinks you've turned this into a cattle empire overnight. I feigned a serious look. Well, 10 cows and 3 goats might scare folks new to ranches. The deputies chuckled, and Mara's face flushed red. Don't be fooled, she barked. He's hiding more. He's a threat. Dan sighed. Mara, Ethan's within rights. And, he added with a smirk, you might rethink this. He's the state Livestock Commissioner. She froze, fury melting into shock. Her jaw worked silently. First time I'd ever seen her speechless. The deputies laughed as I flashed my badge casually. Sorry, Mara. Guess I'm the top critter boss here. Her mouth gaped. You're the Livestock Commissioner? She croaked, shrinking. Yep, I said, sipping calmly. Means I know the rules. And it's more than 5. Laughter erupted, and Mara's bravado crumbled, cheeks burning. You could have said sooner, she muttered, venom fading. And missed the show? I teased. Better than cartoons. The deputies tipped their hats, still chuckling, and left. Dan patted my shoulder. Sorry about your coffee. Hope it gets better. Oh, it has. I grinned, watching Mara stomp off, humiliated but seething. I knew this wasn't over. Mara didn't take defeat lightly. Back on my porch, I finished that coffee, but the peace didn't stick. 2 days later, Crestwood Acres was buzzing. The gate showdown had turned into local legend, spreading through group chats and barbecues. I hoped Mara would back off, but I knew better. she thrived on grudges. Proof came at the HOA meeting, usually a dull affair of paint swatches and mailbox gripes. That night, though, it crackled with tension. Residents whispered, eyeing me warily as I walked in. Friends nodded, others wavered. Mara stood up front in a sharp beige suit, gripping a binder, her icy smile aimed right at me. I sat down, braced for the storm. She took the floor, voice cool and cutting. Our livestock rules are outdated, she said, staring me down. Murmurs rose. Residents can keep endless animals. Do we want barnyard riots in our streets? She handed out pamphlets, cartoon cows flattening roses, pigs chasing kids. I stifled a laugh. Suburban stampedes? Really? Some neighbors fidgeted, swayed. I propose a cap, she pressed, emboldened. 5 animals max. No exceptions. Fines and removal for violators. She was gunning for me. No question. I raised a hand. Mara, state AG exemptions trump HOA rules. As commissioner, I ensure ranches like mine follow state law. Her eyes narrowed. Commissioner or not, you're in our community. Rules apply. Not to state-protected work, I said smoothly. It's like banning ambulances for noise. Laughter broke out, and Mara reddened, flustered. Then we'll find another way, she hissed. The meeting crumbled, neighbors split, some unsure, some on my side. I'd won this round, but Mara's resolve lingered like a bad smell. She didn't waste time. Soon, odd things started happening at my ranch. Gates unlatched overnight, fences sagging, tools strewn around, petty but pointed. Then one morning, my dogs went nuts, barking like the world was ending. I ran out and saw my goats trotting down the road, dodging cars like they'd joined the morning commute. Neighbors helped corral them, sympathy in their eyes, and I fumed. Mara had gone from nuisance to danger. I set up hidden cameras that night, figuring it was time to catch her red-handed. Days later, the footage rolled in, Mara sneaking around at night, unlatching gates with a smirk. I sighed, more sad than mad. This wasn't just about rules anymore. It was personal. I knocked on her door, USB in hand. Mara, this stops, or it escalates, I said, handing it over. She bristled. If you threaten me, it'll get ugly. Not a threat, I urged. A chance for peace. She slammed the door, and I knew trouble was brewing. That night, the wind howled, and my dogs were restless. My gut churned. Something was wrong. I tagged my prize bull, Rusty, a hulking Hereford with a mellow streak, with a GPS tracker after the goat fiasco. At midnight, an alert pinged. Rusty was bolting. I raced out of my ATV, finding a cut gate and tire tracks near Mara's place. The signal led to her garage. Peering in, I saw Rusty, baffled, standing amid patio chairs, munching carrots like it was a buffet. Mara paced, phone in hand, babbling. Yes, I've got him. He's huge. No, I can't move him. He's glaring. Her slippers and broom were useless against Rusty's calm bulk. I filmed it, stifling a laugh. You said one animal proves he's over, she hissed into the phone. But he's a beast. Rusty stared, unbothered. I knocked, and Mara yelped, spotting me. Need help with your pet? I asked. She babbled as Rusty ambled out. You stole my bull, cut my fence, planned what? An inspection? I said, that's a felony. Headlights flared, Dan's cruiser. A neighbor had called. Dan sighed at Rusty, then Mara. Quiet night ruined. I handed over the evidence, and Mara slumped in the cruiser, not arrested yet, but close. By morning, bull in garage went viral. Local news ran it with slow-mo of Mara's broom dance, pure gold. I got free coffee at the diner, farmers cheering, but Mara doubled down. Facebook rants, TV sob stories. I feared for kids. While Rusty chewed cud, unbothered. She filed county complaints, fencing, noise, all dismissed. Then she sued me for distress from the viral fame. My lawyer scoffed. She's suing her own mess. The community split, my allies versus Mara's safety guardians. Tensions flared at bake sales, but my quiet aide, fixing fences, sharing eggs, won folks over. Stand with Ethan, barbecue drew ranchers, Dan vouching for me, the mayor praising AG roots. Mara's protest, tractors, goats, signs saying cows beat control, fizzled. A band played, Rusty's cutout starred, and Mara lost her grip. Supporters faded. I mused over an idea from Leia. Tore her here, bet she'd fold. I invited Mara to the ranch. No trap, just truth. She came, spotless boots, hat prim. I showed her fee barns, water lines. Goats nibbled her scarf. She flailed. Pigs stink, she gagged. A rooster chased her. She hid behind me. After an hour, frazzled, she sat under a tree, mud-streaked. I didn't want war, I said. Just my land, my work. You shamed me, she murmured. You did that, I replied. I follow state law. It's legal good. She sighed. Rules keep order. I saw chaos. Life's messy, I said. The lawsuit's a mistake. I'll drop it. She conceded. We walked back, truce fragile. At the county fair, Mara, now livestock liaison, fed sheep, awkward but trying. I gave her a rusty photo. For your garage. She laughed, a real one. Peace settled, fragile but holding. My ranch hummed along, community steady. Mara tamed, sort of. She still griped about mailbox colors, but the ranch raids stopped. I'd won, not just the fight, but the right to live my way. Property's mine, laws clear, and even Mara couldn't argue with that. So here I am, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise. No sirens, no zebra-pajamas, just cows, goats, and quiet. Mara's out there, probably plotting something small, but I've got cameras, Rusty, and a badge. I'm good. This whole mess, it's about clashing worlds. My ranch life versus Mara's control freak streak. Funny as hell sometimes, bull in a garage, but it's real. You've got rights, and sometimes you've got to stand up for them, even if it means facing a Karen with a broom. That's the deal. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope you got a laugh out of it.